Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm showcasing the Cursed Student unit in Anime Expeditions, and I'm going to show you exactly how to build him for maximum DPS, because a lot of people don't realize how much this unit actually needs to be built around. First, let's take a look at how he looks in-game. I really love the effects on this skin, so that's what I'm using for this showcase. For stats, I've rolled 2 SS rolls and 1 B roll on range. Yuta costs 1,250 yen to place, which makes him a bit expensive compared to other units. He has 2 passives, and both of them are incredible. The first one, Cursed Mimicry, is the standout passive. It lets him copy an attack from the closest unit in his range. This triggers on what would normally be his 3rd attack. Because of that, you want to build him with low SPA, attack speed. The faster he attacks, the more often this passive triggers. When it triggers, he deals 100% of his own damage, around 16,000 for my current build, plus 40% of the closest unit's damage. And here's the crazy part. After each cycle, that follow-up percentage increases by another 20%. So by his 6th attack, he'd be dealing 60% of the nearby unit's damage instead of 40%. And it keeps climbing from there. In theory, this could scale to ridiculous numbers. In practice, most fights won't last long enough to reach those extreme multipliers before the enemy dies or moves out of range. But even the early scaling is very strong. Yuta only truly shines when paired with another high-damage DPS unit on your team, since he's essentially borrowing their damage through this passive. I will now show you his effects and different damage upgrades. His total cost is 51,850,000 yen. He goes from Circle AOE to Cone AOE, and then lastly to Line AOE. His second passive is just as good. Every time 20 bleed stacks build up in his range, he spawns a bat spirit that deals 15% of Yuta's current damage per attack. Speaking of bleed, Yuta applies it on every hit, dealing 0.65 times his damage over 6 seconds. With his base damage of 15,795, that's roughly 10,266 total bleed damage spread across those 6 seconds per proc. The main difference without his equipment is that his bats only do 15% damage of his own damage, meaning you are missing whole 10% more damage if you don't get the promise ring, which you can also craft at the armory if you don't want to grind. So to wrap this up with the final numbers on my current build. Total damage, 15,795. Cooldown, 6.2 seconds. Range, 31.1. With these stats, Yuta scales from a base of approximately 4,204 DPS up to 160,000 plus DPS once his bleed stacks, his 3 bat spirits, and his mimicry bonus are all fully active. With the promise ring equipped, that same 3 bat cap gets a damage boost from 15% to 25% per bat. A solid plus 10% increase to his bat damage, pushing his ceiling a bit higher, but it's not a second set of bats like I mentioned earlier, just a straight upgrade to the existing ones. That said, I wouldn't call him a top 5 unit right now. His damage is amazing once it ramps up, but that build-up time means he just doesn't compete with units that bring high DPS from the very first second. So, to wrap up, here's how to build him properly. Ascend him fully, 3 times. This increases both his damage and range. Unbound trait is the best choice for him. Since every one of his passives scales off his own damage, the plus 300% damage bonus from Unbound synergizes perfectly with his kit. Prioritize his equipment, Promise Ring. The main difference without his equipment is that his bats only do 15% damage of his own damage, meaning you are missing whole 10% more damage if you don't get the Promise Ring, which you can also craft at the armory if you don't want to grind. That said, I wouldn't call him a top 5 unit right now. His damage is amazing once it ramps up. But that build-up time means he just doesn't compete with units that bring high DPS from the very first second. That's Cursed Student. One of the best scaling DPS units in the game once you build him correctly. If you found this helpful, drop a like and subscribe for more Anime Expeditions content. This video isn't quite perfect, as you might notice, but I wanted to revive this YouTube channel. You can expect new guides on units, game showcases, and more in the anime TD scene and beyond. If you want to help me grow on this journey, you can subscribe and leave a like. In the near future, I'll be creating a Discord server where you guys can share your own video ideas, and I'll try to make videos based on them. Until then, see you in the next one.